Did you know that you can install Tanzu GemFire on Kubernetes? Let's go on this adventure today, and we will install GemFire on Kubernetes on my laptop. I've never done this before, so we're going to be going through this adventure in real time together. So I've pulled up the latest instructions. So GemFire on Kubernetes 2.5 is the latest version, and I'm going to be installing this on my MacBook Pro. I already have Docker and Helm and Kind and kubectl installed on here. So some of those prerequisites, and we're going to go through the instructions. So officially this says we need one of these 5 Kubernetes. We are going to try it just on a Kind cluster, so Kubernetes and Docker. So let's go through this. The first thing you're going to want to do is get your access key. This is a paid product from Tanzu, so you will need to have a subscription to this. And if you go to My Downloads in the Broadcom portal, support.broadcom.com, My Downloads, you can select VMware and or just search for GemFire. Now I see there's a couple options here. The general GemFire piece or Tanzu GemFire and Kubernetes. I actually don't think we want the GemFire and Kubernetes one. I believe that is if you're going to download all of the components locally for air-gapped. Here we want to go to just Tanzu GemFire, click the right arrow, and then scroll. I did find this piece in advance. So click green token for repository access. So if you click this, I'm not going to because it'll show my token and I'll have to blur it, and that's a whole thing. But if you click on this, it will give you instructions with your token and your username, which is your email address. So I've gone ahead and set those in my shell so we can start with the instructions. So the first thing here, we have install cert manager. This is a very common one for Tanzu and Kubernetes products. So we're just going to copy this one because that looks good. I'm familiar with cert manager, and we will run that. Oh, actually, before we run that, we probably need a Kubernetes cluster. So let me cancel that. I have Docker running here. I have some old thing running in Docker we can get rid of. All right, so I've got Docker here running. And let's do kind create cluster. We're going to try it just with the defaults. I'm guessing we may need some ports exposed, but we can probably just use Kubernetes port forwarding here. I'm not sure why kind is not loading that icon, but let's go ahead and wait for, or is that the icon? Oh, okay. That looked like a invalid icon. So we'll get kind here, which is spinning up a Kubernetes cluster running in Docker. By default, it's just going to run in a single Docker container. So this will be both the control plane as well as the worker node. So the taints are set appropriately so you can run pods and containers out there. So that's running. Let me close Docker desktop. So it should have set my kube context. So if we run the kube context command, you don't have to have it. It's one I recommend. You'll see we're pointing at a kind cluster. But now we can do kubectl get namespace. We can do kubectl get nodes. We see we have our one node. And I've aliased everything to k, so you'll just see me running k get nodes. Great. So now we have Kubernetes up and running on my laptop. Let's go ahead and run this cert manager command. Warning is okay. That all looks fine. So if we do do kubins, another good command to install. We can look at what are the namespaces. We have this cert man, so we can do kubins. Just go to that namespace and get all. So we have cert manager running. The pods look happy. The deployment and replica set looks happy. So that's good. So now we're going to install the Kubernetes operator for GemFire. This is another way you can view the current context. This will give you effectively the same thing as kubectx. So we're in the right context from my kubeconfig file. And we want to create a namespace. So I'll just type this, create namespace. Let's call this Tanzu GemFire. This will be for the operator. So we'll call this Tanzu GemFire operator. How about, we'll do an underscore operator. Oh. Okay, so now if we do kubins or get namespace, we see we have this operator. So I'm going to switch to that by default. Kubins. This is why kubins is awesome. Okay, so now we need to create this secret. And so I don't manage to throw my secret out on YouTube. We will piece this together. So the namespace is going to be the same one from up here. And then we are going to have Docker server. This is the Docker server for Tanzu, so that's fine. We'll have Docker username. And then this will be my $. I've already set this username and Docker password. TGF. Okay. So I've already set those two environment variables so they contain my username and password without actually showing them on the screen. And let's hope this Frankenstein paste of a command works. Okay. So we should be able to do get secrets, and we've got our image pull secret. Pretty sure if we do describe secret. Whoa. I do not know what happened there. All right, describe secret, image pull secret. We can see, okay, I've got my secret. It's encrypted or obfuscated data. We are not using TKG. We're just using a kind cluster. And let's go ahead and use Helm here as it's very commonly used. So we also need to tell Helm how to log in. And I'm assuming there is a command here that I can pass my password. Because this will be tgf underscore username. Okay, let's just guess here and say -p is password, tgf underscore password. Cool. Okay, it doesn't like it on the CLI because that'll be in my history, but that's okay. I've got an environment variable and this is just a demo. So we are going to use Helm. We need to install, okay, cert manager is in the cert manager namespace. So let's go ahead and run each of these commands one by one. So helm install GemFire CRD. It is coming from this location in the registry. We've got version 2.5. We want to get our namespace, which was TGF-operator, I believe, and GemFire operator. So let's try this. I could have seen the namespace I was in right there, but I guess that doesn't pop up for Helm, does it? Okay. So if we do, so we're in the right namespace, so we can do k get all, maybe. Well, we'll come back and see what actually gets deployed. Let's just see if there's any other namespaces. Okay, I may not have deployed anything yet, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and, oh, that was the CRD, so that's cool. So let's go ahead and deploy the operator now. And then again, this will be our namespace, TGF-operator. And it is showing my, on the right side here, it is showing my cluster in namespace. Again, that's the Kubernetes tools. Okay, so if we do k get all, I'm assuming it's going to start deploying the operator. So we have a deployment, which has a replica set saying it wants 1. We are creating the container. So we can do k watch. I knew what I meant to do, but not the right thing. K get po minus w. And by the time I fumbled through that, it is running. And let's just look at this thing. Scribe po. All right. So it got the home deployment. It was able to pull the image. So I feel good. All my credentials are there for pulling it. Mount volume. I'm wondering if it created k get pv pvc. All right, so it's got a storage class, but no persistent volumes. So I'm not sure what it's trying to mount there. Anyways, that looks good. And I'm wondering if it added any resources. So if we get k API resources and let's grep GemFire. Okay, so we can do k get. I do not know why it is doing that weird auto completion. K get GemFire clusters. Okay, I don't have any. And I don't think there is a shorthand for that. Okay, so the operator is installed. We are not using a custom repository. So we can ignore that. We are not installing offline. We are not installing with Carvel. Verify the installation. So we can look at the CRD. We have the CRD. We can look at the pods, which we did before. It's running. All right, everything looks there. Everything, yeah, everything looks there and good. We're not uninstalling. So let's go ahead and create a cluster. Let's see, so we can create a new namespace. Create namespace TGF1, and we will switch our default to that. Okay, so we need to create the secret. It looks like this is the same secret, but just for here. So I'm gonna be lazy and do k create secret. That's not it. It was Kubernetes cube ctl create secret. Okay, so this is the one we ran earlier. I just need to change the namespace. I don't think there's a copy secret command. So we're going to create the same secret, but in this namespace, same registry, same username, same password, so it can pull the images. We are not using OpenShift. Okay, place the YAML that represents. Okay, so this is us defining the cluster. So let's vi tgf1.yaml. So it is GemFire, type GemFire cluster, name GemFire1. That is fine. And we've got the image. That's pretty simple and basic. And then we're going to apply that. So k apply -f this file. And I'm already in the right namespace, but you could do -n if you need to supply the namespace. So now we can do k get GemFire clusters. That was the operator before, or the CRD defined by that operator. And k get all. Okay, it looks like it is starting to create things. So it is creating the locator, kind of the DNS, if you will, of GemFire, the thing that allows you to find all of the different servers. So if you're a client or another server and you want to find servers, you'll talk to the locator. So we are creating that, which makes sense to start first. And then it looks like we are creating 2 servers. So that must be the default here. I'm learning with everyone. And our locator is running. And our servers are running. So if we go back and do k get GemFire cluster, yeah, it looks like we are good. GemFire 1 locator, 2 servers. Sweet. So we already did this, get GemFire clusters. We didn't get any errors. And this makes sense. Cache.xml. So if you're going to actually start defining things like regions, you would want a cache.xml file. And you put that in a config map. Oh, cool. We can also do this via the CLI with gfish. So I want to see if they tell me how to access a cluster. Work with a cluster. So gfish, the GemFire shell. Cool kids call it gfish. Okay, it looks like we can operate gfish from the locator. So we're execing into our locator container and running gfish. So let's try this first. And we are in the namespace, so we can get rid of that. because we're in TGF1, and then the locator is GemFire 1. So let's try that. All right, so we are in GFish. That's good. Let's actually follow the instructions. We will grab our not that that mattered. We should be in the same place. So let's secret name cert. What is the name? Okay, so that's the GemFire 1. So that's the name we set in our YAML file. And again, I don't need to set the TGF1 namespace because it's already there. So there's my base, or there is my decoded certificate password, or for the key store. Don't grab the ampersand there. That's just saying there's no new line was supplied in the shell. So we can come back. I need to save that somewhere. So let's do vi trust pass.txt. Okay. So we're back here. We're going to run that same command, but we need to tag all of this other stuff on there. No, not going to scroll. Okay. So copy that. We will run that last command. And we need that TLS password. So we can cat that. Come on, give me the whole thing. Put this in here. That goes all the way to the beginning. I do not know how to go to a half line. All right, so password, let's try that. JKS? Sure, why not? Okay, so I accepted the defaults there. So it's a Java key store and trust store, any ciphers. So we connect it to the locator, we connect it to the manager. If I recall, yeah, the manager runs on the locator. So now we're in here. So I forget. It's a very nice shell, but I forget the commands. Basically, I want to see the regions that we have in here. So that's what we could have defined in what am I doing? Oh, back on the other page, we could have had our cache.xml to create the regions. And a region is basically a table, if you will, for GemFire's context, because you're not storing tables of data, as you're storing regions of objects. So I don't know if I can do list regions. No regions found. Let's see if we can do create region. So the auto completion on here is awesome. I don't know if it's a equal. I'm going to assume its name equals, call it customers. Should want a type if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, type equals, we're going to do replicate, which means it'll be on every node. See if that works. Awesome. So we got list region, and we have one region. I think we can also start to put data in there. I'm pretty sure you can do a put of an object in with gfish. May have to be JSON, I forget, but obviously that's not how you'd really use it. You'd use the GemFire Java API or other client API, but we now have this up and running. The other thing I want to do is I believe with gfish I can look at the cluster. So I don't know if there's a list, yeah, list members. And I can see I have a locator in 2 servers. So we are in GemFire. We have it up and running. We have deployed the operator and created a cluster with 1 locator and 2 servers. We've created a region and we can see it. That's the bulk of this. I'm going to play with a couple other things. I'll keep the recording going and may skip ahead if I find something interesting. I'd like to see if I can put some data in there. I'd also like to see if I can get the management UI up and running. So bear with me and we'll go through some of those. All right, looks like I can do a put. Let's see, put. Okay, so we will do region equals customer key. We will say this will be me, pivotal tech dash value equals, this is YouTube, right? So everyone's got to say subscribe. Please, let's do a string. Okay, so that looks good. So I wonder if I can do a get now, region key equals pivotal tech. Oh, yeah, I should probably say what that actually is. Customers, and we get a value. Awesome. So basic insert put of an object and getting it back. There's a lot more you can do. You can run queries, etc. But that's a good start. Let's see if we can get the management UI, Pulse, or its replacement up. All right, I figured out how to get the management console, which I believe is the future replacement or enhancement to Pulse. I will share this link, but there's Tanzu GemFire Management Console installation. Excuse me. And there is an OCI image installation on Kubernetes. We have Kubernetes running. So we can copy this file, which creates a namespace, launches this thing on port 8080. There's a bunch of other config I don't think I really have to know. And we're not going to enable SSL, TSL for now. So what is this? Tanzu GemFire Management Console. So let's go here. And let's create Tanzu GemFire Management Console.yaml. We will insert this. That is good. So let's write that and we'll do k apply -f GemFire Management Console.yaml. So it created this namespace. So if we do Cubans GemFire Management Console, k get all, we've got a pod being created. Okay, it's running, so k get all. And it has the port. So let's do k port forward. 8080. Now if we go localhost 8080, VMware GemFire Management Console. We will log in. We want to connect a cluster. This was TGF1. Host. Okay, let's see. I think it was gemfire1.cluster.local. Port 7070. I don't know. Let's find out. No security, no TLS. No. All right, after a lot of troubleshooting, I was able to finally connect to my cluster. The way I did that was I gave it a cluster name, TKG1. I gave it a host, and the host had to be the DNS name because it is going to look at a certificate of the locator. So gemfire1.locator.namespace.service.cluster.local. So that is my service, I believe. Let's go here and do kget services. Kget services. This is the same thing that we saw earlier with gfish. So very similar, where you want name, the GemFire1 locator, namespace name. So nonetheless, if you go kget all, you can see I have GemFire1-locator 0, and then I want GemFire1-locator, so that's the service. So this probably just points to locator 0 because you can have multiple. And then you want that DNS URL, namespace, service, cluster, local. Port is 7070, which in spite of the name is going to be using SSL and TLS. There is no security. Click on TLS, and then you will need to download the key store file. So I downloaded it, keystore P12. The password will be the one we captured earlier from the secret. So this one, again, in the documentation, it told you how to get this here. It's the certificate and key store and trust store. So you can put that in. You put in the trust store, put in that, save the password, and click connect. If you use the IP address up here, which I had done before, 10.244.0.10, it will give you an error saying this does not match the certificate. I already did this. Let me show you how to get these two files here. So what I did is copy. So this, I did kubectl copy the name of the pod, the path, and it is in this weird certs. The name of the directory is .data, so it's not // which is go back a directory. It is .data. That may just be a bug or a typo, but anyways, key store P12. So copy that local, and then I did the same thing for the trust store. So that is what I did to get those files local. So you connect that. Trust me, that's what worked. I can see it here. Now I can come in here and I can see everything. So I can see here's my cluster. We have one locator, two servers. This looks like it gives you a bunch of the properties, status, its raw configuration. I'm assuming the same thing for the servers or the members. It's my first time using this. This management console. Monitoring. Okay, we've got gets, puts latencies, throughput. This is all members. We have regions. Cool, so this is the region I had created earlier. We can go into it. See that it's a replicated region. No indices, no other configuration on it. Looks like I can create another region. Test, partition. Create the region. Living dangerously here. All right, we've got two regions. There's our cluster.xml. Oh, this is cool because it's dynamically updated, so it gives us those two regions, including the one I just added. For the compute grid, you can deploy jar files for functions. We have not. Disk stores, so it looks like this is storing the metadata for object serialization. Everything gets serialized and stored. But presumably, yeah, we can create disk stores to back up data from memory to disk. gfish, so I can run gfish, list regions. Nice. So git, oh, does not, I don't know. I don't seem to have tab completion, which is the best thing about gfish. But I don't. Customers, -- key, pivotal tech, I think we did. Yay, there it is. Logs, I'm sure is logs. Functions would be any functions I've deployed. Data, okay, so I can look customers. Hey, cool. I can save my connections. And then you've got multi-site configuration, which that's pretty slick. Okay, I had to do that because I finally got that working. Thanks all.